Hello, Chicago. I'm Cameron Bopp. For this portion of CAN TV Conversations, I have the pleasure of talking with a vaccine hunter, a moderator of the Facebook group Chicago Vaccine Hunters. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, Lisa Martin. Lisa, thanks so much for being here today. How are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So I did actually have the pleasure of talking to you a few months ago, back when the group only had around 60,000 members. So Lisa, can you tell me about how many members is the group at now?
I think when I looked yesterday, we were at about 93,000.
So you're coming up on
And
that 100,000 mark.
we are. It is insane how quickly we've grown.
Yeah, that is incredible. So for those who don't know what the group does, could you please explain a little bit about the group Chicago Vaccine Hunters?
So basically, it is a resource for pretty much everybody in Chicago, and even people who aren't in Chicago who are trying to get people appointments in Chicago. So we help people who are looking for appointments and just need help knowing where they are. We help people set appointments. We have vaccine hunters in the group where, we'll take your information and we'll set the appointment for you. And then there's just resources on there just for people. So it's just all around a lot of information just to help everybody regarding vaccines.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of information, sounds like a lot of work. So how exactly did you get involved with the group?
I actually just found it on Facebook like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a vaccine for my own family, and that's how I got started. And I offered up, some of my time to help out. I mean, when I joined, it was a couple of thousand. So that's how fast it grew.
Mm-hmm. So what specifically do you do now? I know you just said that you started by finding a vaccine for one of your family members, but what do you do for everybody else now? What is your role in Chicago Vaccine Hunters?
I moderate the Facebook group. So I do that. So basically, for the Facebook group itself, because we have so many members that we have moderators that streamline the group. So there isn't 500 posts of the same thing and that kind of stuff. And we help answer questions. We verify information because sometimes some clinics have eligibility requirements. And we make sure that when people post it, that they have the right information, because we don't want people showing up and they are not eligible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds oh, sorry, keep going.
So we'll make phone calls and stuff, and we'll find out for people, so we don't have 200 people show up and they're not eligible.
Yeah, so there's a lot to keep track of, and it seems like a stressful process. I know I got my vaccine and somebody else actually found it for me, but I know it's a stressful process. So what are some of the lengths people have gone to in securing a vaccine appointment?
Well, my family and I, we drove 5 hours, so.
Wow.
We were in the same boat as everybody else. We got ours in February, so that is when they first opened 1B plus for Chicago and the Cook County and that whole area. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't anything available around here, so we drove to Carbondale. So that is some of the people drive. Mm-hmm. I mean, now appointments are opening up more, so you have less of that going on. But people are willing to go to great lengths to get vaccinated, which is actually a good thing. I mean, people want to get vaccinated.
Yes, it is. It is definitely a good thing. So you drove 5 hours the first time. Did you have to drive 5 hours again, even though there were more appointments in Cook County?
We did not. We were able to get something closer the second time around.
Okay, so people have struggled. You went to some great lengths for that first appointment. What have you figured out and noticed that makes finding appointments for people even easier?
If you live in Cook County, call the 833 number. Make sure you sign up with Cook County. Call that number. They can help you. We have found that sometimes we've had different pharmacies that they just didn't get their shipment of vaccines and they have to cancel. It happens. And people completely panic. And if you call Cook County, they will help you find your second dose. They are there to help you. So you just have to remember that they're there as a resource. I mean, that is a huge resource for people. And people forget that they can call and do that. our group is so nice because you can just ask a question in the group, and there are literally 90,000 people who want to help you. And if I don't know the answer, there are another 90,000 people who do.
So what are some of the common questions that you find people asking in the group? Like what are the problems most people run into?
Right now, we're getting a lot of, if you're 16 years old, you can only have Pfizer. That is the only one approved. Now with everything it's open to anybody 16 plus, we're having a lot of parents not realizing that, and they end up signing up for Moderna and not realizing their kids can't get that. So that seems to be a really big one right now. They just haven't publicized that, I think, really well yet. So that seems to be a huge one. Let's see, what other questions? We get a lot of different stuff, so it's hard to say. Every place has its own idiosyncrasies. So like some places we've signed consent forms, some places don't. Some places ask for IDs, some places don't. I mean, it gets really weird.
Yes, I'm sure.
Everybody has their own rules.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So it also sounds like it's getting a little bit easier. But as you mentioned, now that Chicago has granted President Biden's wishes to open vaccine eligibility to everyone over the age of 16, what does the group look like now that even more people are able to get vaccinated? Are you being bombarded with even more messages or more posts?
Well, yes and no. It's a double-edged sword because yes, everybody's eligible, and yes, there's more appointments, but we still have the problem of there's still underserved neighborhoods that don't have appointments there. You have people who don't have vehicles, that don't have clinics in their neighborhoods. So how do we get those people to clinics? You have people who work and can't take off work. So a lot of these clinics are 9 to 5. How do we get those people to a clinic that they can go to? I mean, now we're running into, we need to figure out how to serve those populations versus what we have right now. We just have to expand out. So it's expanded, but we need to do more. So we can always do more.
So yeah, you are expanding, you can do more. About how many messages would you say you're receiving per day? How many phone calls? How many posts are you responding to personally now that you are expanding even more?
Oh, I still get PMs all night long, so it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, so switching courses just for a second, what do you do outside of moderating this group?
I'm a blogger and a social media influencer, and I do social media consulting. So jack of all trades. Wow,
yeah, you have a lot of jobs, a lot of things going on. And I know you mentioned to me personally that your husband just had surgery, so that's another job added to the list. So yeah. You're incredibly busy. So why do you do this? Why be a Chicago vaccine hunter?
Good karma outnumber all. I can help people, so why not do that? I mean, why not show my children that, you can help people? And I don't have to get anything for doing it. Just, it feels good to help people. I mean, we've been able to post clinics that, I can name 2 clinics that we posted that 1,800 people out of our group got appointments out of, just from posting 2 clinics. That feels good. That's 1,800 people who got vaccinated because of that.
Wow, that is truly incredible. You are doing an amazing thing. And like I said, somebody else found me my vaccine appointment, my own vaccine hunter, if you will. And I am incredibly grateful for that. And I know everybody you found appointments for are also incredibly grateful. And you're just doing an amazing thing, Lisa. So thank you so much for that.
Well, that is interviewing me again.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Lisa, once again, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure having you here. Be safe and happy hunting. And to those of you at home, have a great day.